Bieber was making out with another guy at his launch party is what it looked like to me, in my opinion.
Justin Bieber is celebrating his album release, but nobody's focused on the music. They can't stop talking about the bizarre moment caught on camera where it seems like Justin is cheating on Hailey with a man. Jennifer Lopez and her team are working overtime. They are desperately trying to keep her in the spotlight, even if it's embarrassing for her. Donald Trump is getting nervous. More and more people want the Epstein files, and now he's willing to risk it all to shut them up.
And after the second day of these unusual meetings between Maxwell and the Trump Department of Justice, Maxwell's attorney just said this about a potential pardon.
Cardi B is denying all wrongdoing in a battery case where an anonymous woman claims emotional distress after being attacked by the rapper in front of a crowd.
Throw some ice in your face, bitch, and you gonna tell me how the fuck you feel, bitch, because I felt very violated.
Let's get into it. Let's get into Justin Bieber. There has been a lot of talk about Justin Bieber. The reports are talking about his album and his listening party, while the streets are talking about what happened at the listening party. And there have been some rumors that Justin was caught making out with another man. These are only rumors because he was also seen kissing with Hailey. They were super affectionate, and it seems like Justin had a really good time. Problematic Kyle Massey was there. Shout out to you, Kyle. We also had Madison Beer, John Mayer, Kid Leroy, and Eddie Benjamin. Eddie is actually the guy that there have been like some rumors over time that that's like Justin's lover. They're always together. It seems like he posts more of Eddie than he posts of Hailey, but the deep dive into Eddie is for another video. There were a bunch of clips of Justin partying it up, and there was a moment where he looks like he's embracing another guy there.
Bieber was making out with another guy at his launch party is what it looked like to me, in my opinion.
Okay, we see Justin here. It looks like he's leaning up on whoever this guy is. I'm not entirely sure who that is. Okay, so Justin's now out of frame. We've got this guy with the hair taking up all of the camera time. Now, if you saw the comments on his post, people were going crazy because they believe they see a kiss there. I don't know what I really see, but there were other moments captured on camera where you could see like this man seems almost a little uncomfortable with how handsy Justin is being with him. Yeah, I mean, look at him. It looks like he's really holding on to him, huh? Justin is like, he's not letting that guy go. So in this like clip, Justin essentially is behind this mystery man. I mean, I'm sure Hailey has gotten to the bottom of it already. And he's got his arm around his neck and they're almost like kind of holding hands. The other guy has his arm wrapped up and Justin's like whispering into his ear while everyone around him is blasting music and dancing. This comment reads, tweaked out and horny. Another person says, JB is just high and holding on for his dear life. Let's get into Jennifer Lopez. Now, I've just got a quick story about J-Lo over here because she's just acting as desperate as ever. And you know what? I don't know how she's been able to overcome this kind of like cancellation she had with her divorce from Ben Affleck, but good job. It actually turns out this happened during a moment when everyone on stage was singing happy birthday for Jennifer Lopez. She was in Poland and her skirt slipped off of her waist. And some people, you know, I mean, it's a typical, people have wardrobe malfunctions all the time. Let's be real, but it seemed staged. She just really wants to be seen as like this hot single woman, but you know, she is hot and she is single, but I don't know if people want that baggage. She does look good. You gotta give it to her. So that skirt just like looked like it detached from the back and flew off, like almost like in a theatrical way. This comment reads, "This is the most purposeful accident I've seen all week." LK writes, "Seems like it was staged." Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's get into Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, I try to refrain from talking about Epstein, but we're going to just have to dive into it because this situation involving the president and Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein has gotten so murky. I don't know what is true. Supposedly, Ghislaine Maxwell was recently interviewed and gave about 100 names linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I have a feeling that Ghislaine Maxwell, she doesn't like being in prison, and there's probably a lot of information that she's withheld that she can now maybe give up for a lighter sentence.
What did this mean, this limited immunity? Well, it allowed Maxwell to provide information without any fear that anything she said that is truthful can be used against her in the future.
Now, of course, Ghislaine did not tell us this news because she's locked up, but her lawyer, David Oscar Marcus, quite a name, it's like 3 different first names, told us that she had listed 100 different people. If you guys don't follow the news every day, you might be wondering, how is the president connected to this? Well, he supposedly was listed in some of the documents that were in the Epstein case. He, Donald, does not want any other information about this case out there because he could be possibly implicated, so he's trying to protect himself. Now, a few weeks ago on NPR, I remember listening to the president talking about how he will not pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, now it looks like he's changing his tone. Now, maybe this could be a way for him to go and protect himself, like to get her out of jail, get her to shut up and to stop their investigation, because I guess she has the most information on him who's involved in this whole ring, if you want to call it. Now, back on July 10th, it was reported that there would be no discussions of consideration of a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, and there never will be. Clearly, now Trump has changed his mind.
And after the second day of these unusual meetings between Maxwell and the Trump Department of Justice, Maxwell's attorney just said this about a potential pardon from Trump.
We haven't spoken to the president or anybody about a pardon just yet. And you know, listen, the president this morning said he had the power to do so. We hope he exercises that power in the right and just way.
This comment reads, "Of course he's going to pardon her to buy her silence. He knows that he hurt children with Jeffrey Epstein. He just doesn't want everybody to find out." Another comment reads, "The biggest scandal in presidential history." And finally, what it all means is that if she does not talk, she will get a pardon. Let's get into Cardi B. So Cardi B has recently been sued for attacking a woman. She was struck by a microphone. One person I would never want to square up with would be Cardi B. She seems so scary. She's got those claws. She's got that fighting history. I believe she even sacrificed her cousin, but again, that's another video. But supposedly Cardi B threw a microphone at this woman during a day party in Las Vegas a couple years ago. Now, this woman is anonymous, but she claims in 2023, Cardi was performing at the Dre's Beach Club when she asked the people in the crowd to throw water at her because she was so hot she wanted to cool off. However, this individual says that when she threw water at Cardi B, several people in the audience did as well, but the rapper responded by pelting her with the mic instead, seemingly targeting this woman for whatever reason after she already asked for water to be thrown on her. Maybe that woman threw a little bit too much, but here's Cardi B talking about this incident.
Do you regret throwing that microphone at that young lady?
It was really like a quick reaction. It was really like, and let me tell you, motherfucker, I didn't want to address.
Well, also keep in mind, this is great material for this anonymous woman because here's Cardi B essentially admitting to it.
Because I thought a bitch was going to go to jail, but I'm not. It was higher than a motherfucker. So there was a part of the show that I told people, splash me. Yeah. When I told him splash me, I was like, man, be careful with the faces. The faces beat, bitch. 4 songs after, nobody has splashed me. I told y'all to splash me for 1 little second. 4 songs.
Okay, so I can kind of see where Cardi B is coming from. It's like, at what point did you decide you're going to throw this at me? I guess maybe it was unexpected, but it seems like this other woman has a different idea. They didn't really give us a timeline of when she threw it versus the other people she saw throw water.
After, this bitch threw water and ice on my face. I just automatically reacted. I didn't even know that I was throwing it at I just threw the shit because it's like, bitch, you heard me?
I mean, could we do a quick replay? Because that was a pretty hefty amount of water that she threw, and cold water.
Right in my face. And when I look at the video, it's like, nah, you intended to throw that shit in my face because you ain't did it like this. You threw it
way like it was
like, no, bitch. You throw some ice in your face, bitch, and you gonna tell me how the fuck you feel, bitch, because I felt very violated.
Cardi was investigated by police for this incident, but she was not charged. The microphone was later sold for $99,000. But now this Jane Doe claims that she's been experiencing emotional distress since the incident. Cardi's lawyer, Drew, is calling BS, saying that this is all just a money grab and it's pitiful. Quote, apparently the opportunity to try to make money off of a celebrity was too much for some willing law firm to pass up. So I have a feeling that Cardi B is going to fight this back in court, and it sounds like she could be a winner, because I thought she was going to maybe list like, oh, an eyeball injury, some type of injury from this microphone, but it's just emotional distress. Did it even like actually hit her? I don't know. I don't want to be like a Cardi B apologist, but I need to see more evidence. Starting a business can feel like you have to do everything yourself, from design to shipping to marketing. The list never ends, but that's why millions of people trust Shopify to make it all manageable. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of brands all over the world and powers 10% of e-commerce in the US. From names like Gymshark and Mattel to startups and creators launching their first product, you can build your online store with hundreds of ready-to-use templates that match your brand. Their built-in AI tools help you write product descriptions, generate page headlines, and improve your product photos. You can also create email and social campaigns right from your dashboard, so it feels like you have a full marketing team backing you. Plus, Shopify handles all the details, like inventory, international shipping, and returns, so you can stay focused on your business. If you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. Turn your big business idea into some cha-ching with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period and start selling today. Go to shopify.com/Sloan. Again, that is shopify.com/Sloan. Let's get into Coldplay Gate. So we've all seen that viral Coldplay concert moment where that man was exposed for having an affair with his wife. It seems like Chris Martin could be like the new lead of cheaters. He exposed one hell of a scandal. So the former CEO of Astronomer, Andy, was caught cheating with Kristen Cabot, the head of HR at Astronomer. Former as well. Now, this whole situation has blown up their lives because Andy had his wife and they were essentially married. I don't think an open marriage either, because she's had a bad reaction. And since her business has been put out there, we've learned even more about Andy, and it gets worse. So it looks like Andy allegedly spent $250,000 on OF. That is a website where creators, influencers, models, adult actresses can go and create content for people to go and purchase. And the fact that he spent $250,000, like that's a down payment for several houses. And now he's being exposed. It seems like in particular, there was a model named Sophie Rain who he liked a lot. He spent a lot of money on her. And I don't think his wife, Megan, was familiar with his transactions, spending all of this money on these girls. Andy seemingly used a secretive messaging app known as Finsta to pay up to more than $40,000 for explicit video calls with Sophie. In one message, Sophie said, "All good. Most of the guys I talk to are married," to which he replied in this message thread, "Okay, call me in 5 minutes," with a winky face. Now, it seems like his wife is the one who exposed these messages on Facebook, which good for you. Go and get them. Sophie later told The Blast she cannot comment on who her clients and donors are, but this situation's as crazy as it gets. Sophie said, "As a Christian, I don't condone this type of behavior, but I don't disclose my donors. I'm here for his wife if she needs a friend through these tough times." That is like a nice but kind of shady message to come from this Sophie woman who just kind of inserted herself into all of this. But it was, I guess his soon-to-be ex-wife who was the one that exposed the messages. One of Sophie's roommates, Camilla, who lives in this Bop house, that's what they call their house, said that she did reach out directly to Megan through a few of her contacts. They are so inserting themselves. Camilla said, "I told her she's not alone. Women need to stand together when someone tries to humiliate and betray them like this, especially in such a public way." Camilla even said, "I let her know that I'm here for her, and I told her to come down to Miami for a few weeks to forget about the situation," which is, again, really rich to imagine, like Megan, this woman who's like what, in her 40s or 50s, is now going down to the Bob house to go and hang out with these OF girls that her husband was paying $250,000. Now, the other day I was curious to what Astronomer is, because we hear so much about the company. And when I went to their Instagram page, I found a fascinating video because Chris Martin's ex-wife, Gwyneth Paltrow, decided to do a brand deal with them. She was hired as their very temporary spokeswoman for the company to film a funny video as part of the gig. twig. The new CEO, Pete, says astronomers' newfound spotlight is unusual and surreal because they were like kind of a small company, not really public, and now everyone's asking about them. So Gwyneth came in to go and help them, regain control over the narrative.
For your interest in astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow, unifying
even watching this video, I do not understand what Astronomer is. Let me know in the comments below if you guys
the
understand.
experience of running data, ML, and AI pipelines at scale. We've been thrilled so many people have a newfound interest in data workflow automation. As for the other questions we've received.
How's your social media team holding up?
Yes, there is still room available at our Beyond Analytics event in September.
This comment reads, hiring Coldplay's ex-wife is wild. Another person adds, it looks like an SNL skit. And then finally, this is the funniest thing they could have done. Let's get into Shia LaBeouf and FK Twigs. So it looks like Shia has paid off FK Twigs so they could avoid going to court. FK Twigs asked the court to dismiss all the claims she had against Shia with prejudice, so she can't take him back into court for any of these allegations, which involve an incident that went down in December 2020 where she was tormented by him. She also got an STI from him. FK even went onto national television and described what had happened with her and Shia, and it was really devastating. So to see that she had settled, she must have gotten a pretty big payout, which good for her because Shia LaBeouf is a monster.
Having an argument with me in the middle of the night, start accusing me of doing all sorts of things, planning to leave him in my head. He'd wake me up and tell me I was disgusting, that I was vile.
All the things that he was accusing you of were absolutely not true.
Nothing was ever true. Like, this is the thing, but I would really doubt myself, especially when I'd wake up and he'd be like, you were lying there with your eyes open, planning to leave me. And I'd be like, I literally was asleep. But then he would only want me to sleep naked because he said if I didn't, then I was keeping myself from him. So
now, Shia said in response, although many of these allegations are not true, I am not in the position to defend any of my actions. I owe these women an opportunity to air their statements out publicly and accept accountability for those things I've done. He said, as someone in recovery, I have to face almost daily reminders of things I say and do when I was drinking. So pretty much he's saying well, he said a lot of these allegations are not true, which I'm not buying any of that, especially with the statement you give after the fact. Plus, it sounds like he has even more victims out there saying he's got daily reminders of things that he has done. Let's get into Hulk Hogan. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up watching the Hulk Hogan reality show as a kid, and he recently passed away at 71 years old, and it looks like it was cardiac arrest, which I think is a heart attack. Oh God, a video of this scene outside Hulk's home shows responders desperately trying to save his life as he was transported. So it doesn't sound like it was a peaceful death. Oh God, poor Hulk. I mean, he's quite problematic, but I just don't want to see any of that. He was pronounced dead at the hospital, and there were no signs of foul play or suspicious activity. I mean, keep in mind, we're dealing with Hulk Hogan. He's going to beat someone's ass. I wouldn't worry about any foul play when it comes to him. Just a few weeks ago, Hulk Hogan's wife, Sky, who he married in September 2023, denied rumors that he was in a coma, stating that his heart was strong as he recovered from surgeries. There were reports last month that Hulk Hogan was on his deathbed, but at the time, it seems like he was just dealing with the symptoms of a neck procedure he had in May. Now, as I said, Hulk Hogan is a problematic man, but I don't really like talking about death or wishing death upon anyone, but the internet, some people are really comfortable with it because he's so disliked. People were making videos in joy that he had been gone.
Ooh, not held and gained a new demon because Hulk Hogan is dead, stating that it's due to cardiac arrest. That's from all them steroids he was taking all them years.
Stop saying rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. His motherfucking ass was racist. Don't y'all know that's the reason why the WWE terminated his motherfucking contract?
2015, his daughter, Brooke Hogan, was dating a black man. In a secret taping, Hulk Hogan spewed out some racist rhetoric. He said something along the lines of, I can't believe you're dating an N-word. These effing N-words.
This comment reads that Hulk's the reason that wrestlers don't have a union. He's the piece of crap. Another person writes that his family wanted nothing to do with him. That says it all. Now, I did see that Brooke Hogan was able to speak to her dad at least one time before he had passed away, but they had a strained relationship. She's not wanted to speak to him in years. So, I mean, I guess that is telling that none of his family wanted him, and he had this new wife that seems sketchy. It's a sad way to go out. Let's get into Diddy. Now, this is quick, but I saw that Diddy was active on social media. He posted a little side-eye tweet. He quickly deleted this tweet, but I feel like he's trying to test the waters to see how people would react. I don't know how prison is nowadays. Maybe he has a phone, a cell phone. So he went on to X to go and post this to see maybe if people were fans of him or not. One person said, "Why was there a Diddy tweet on my screen?" Another person said, "He's teasing his release party." Another person writes, "Explain this. How the hell did Diddy just post these eyes? Why would Diddy post this, then delete it? Did y'all see Diddy tweet? Maybe someone got access to his account and they're messing with it." Diddy's not really active on Twitter. He did share a picture of his family in May and posted at one point to encourage his fans to go listen to his son King Combs' collab with Kanye West, a track Diddy Free, which obviously did not stand. So do people in prison have access to phones and social media? I mean, I see like once in a while someone on TikTok will have a prison phone and they'll be making TikToks, but I don't see it that often. So what do you guys think? What do you know? Let's get into Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Now, everyone is waiting for this announcement, the next royal wedding, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Travis sent Taylor Swift fans into a frenzy when he posted a picture on his Instagram for the first time of Taylor. A lot of those fans zoomed in to the picture and tried to notice any clues, and at one point, they thought that it seemed like there was an engagement photo of Taylor and Travis. You guys can see in this photo, she has her hand up. It looks like she's showing off some rings, but the rep said that she was actually wearing his Super Bowl rings in that picture, and it was not an engagement photo. Now, I thought this summer maybe Travis Kelce would have proposed to Taylor Swift, but maybe they're not in a rush. He's about to begin camp for NFL training soon, so he's about to be back into work, and I feel like that kind of closes the gap on time when he could go and propose to her. Let's get into Trisha Paytas. You guys know that we are fans of Trisha over here on this channel. I once was a co-host on her podcast. If you've never seen that episode, definitely go and check it out. But Trisha just gave birth to her new son, Aquaman Moses, Paytas Hackman, I believe, which the Aquaman is a little bit difficult to say. It's like Aquaman Moses. But the internet has blown up. There have been billboards, there's brands, streaming services all using her children's names, Malibu Barbie, Elvis, and now Aquaman to go and promote their films because they are all film names. But I do think it's like kind of a goofy story. And I wanted to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Like, what do you think about the name Aquaman for a kid? Do you think it's going to be the beginning of like a trend?
Let's talk about the name Baby Aquaman because the internet is very, very divisive on it. Now, obviously, I really don't care. I shared the name with the world. It is his legal name. It's on his birth certificate. If you know anything about me, you know I had a little Aquaman phase back in 2017, 2018, at a time when I felt really low in life, and I had this like weird, like drawn to him. Another thing, don't know, my husband loves water. He identifies as water, and that's very sincerely, very truthfully. He doesn't like to think of himself as like our physical bodies, our physical beings, gender, sexuality, all that stuff. He's very fluid and identifies as water, which I thought was a little cuckoo when I first met him. And then I was like, I started adapting the philosophy as kind of thinking, yes, we're all water beings. And finally, Aquaman can go by whatever he wants to go by. Aquaman can go by Aqua. His middle name is also Moses, so he can go by Moses if he would like to. And if one day he wants to change his name, he's welcome to do that as well.
Now, the comments were sounding off. One person writes, "You need to be banned from naming a child ever again. Aquaman?" Another person says, "Congrats, and please tell me that these are nicknames to protect your kids' identities." One person pointed out that she threw out a few possible names in a recent post. Papermate was one of the contenders. You know, Trisha Paytas didn't think she could have kids for years and to have this family or find true love, so just shout out to her for, finding all the peace in her life. Let's get into Wendy Williams. You guys know I love Wendy Williams over here, and what she's going through is so wrong. And I'm glad she's getting this new team to try to help her stand up for her rights, because they're now going to sue the people responsible for her guardianship. Now, Wendy and her lawyer, Joe Tacopina, did not mince words. His client's guardianship sickens him, they report, and that he's going to sue the people responsible for it. Wendy and Joe were seen celebrating Wendy's birthday at a restaurant in New York when he told the photographer that Wendy is on her way out of the guardianship. But it's been incredibly slow. The judge seems immovable and will almost certainly deny their motion to end the guardianship, which has lasted for more than 3 years. Joe is going to demand a jury trial, and it looks like they have a bunch of evidence that they're going to present, and Joe feels that the jury is going to side with Wendy because she's been having these conversations with reporters and friends and Harvey at TMZ and trying to correct the narrative. So she seems capable. Now, the judge seems like they have it out for Wendy Williams, so I don't really have too much hope unless the judge is replaced with someone else or the case is moved, because this woman hates Wendy Williams. She hates the idea that she's famous, and she keeps telling her, you're not a star, you're not going to come back. So the judge needs to go. Let's get into Chuck E. Cheese. If you guys are not following me on my main channel, Sloan, I just posted a video exposing Chuck E. Cheese, so I thought, why not include this little update, because we just talked about this on my main channel. A Chuck E. Cheese mascot had to cough up some serious money to bail out after getting arrested at a Chuck E. Cheese place in Florida, of course. Shout out to all my Floridians, I miss it down there. When the costume of the head was removed by cops, the rodent was revealed as Jermel J. Jones, who was arrested for theft of a credit card. Not Chucky getting arrested. This would happen after my video exposing Chuck E. Cheese.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4.
Wait, I love that this is the song with it. Is everyone else obsessed with the Jet2 holiday?
We've got millions of free Charles Place holidays available, with 22 kilograms of baggage included.
This is so embarrassing to be like dressed up as a rat. At least they did not take him to the prison dressed up like that and allowed the other like inmates to see. This all went down during the middle of a child's birthday party. It was in progress whenever Chuck E. Cheese was arrested. So the kids are probably a little bit traumatized from that. I'm sorry to the kids. It looks like what he did was he actually ran a scheme almost maybe through the Chuck E. Cheese, because he had one of those fake card readers that would get people's information and then he'd use it later on. So he's kind of like a smart like rodent over here. This comment reads, the scary part is someone at Chuck E. Cheese hired that man to be around kids in the first place. And that is so true. If you guys have not seen my video talking about Chuck E. Cheese, go and watch that after this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.